Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're all very, very welcome to the live coverage of the Ardnacrusha Ger Costello Club Matchplay Final 2025 on this dirty Wednesday evening. The final is taking place between Dillon, just putting the ball on the green here, who has had a handicap of 8 upon entry. And Brian is up against Kieran, Bermingham, handicap of 6. For those who are new, this is a net match play competition, so there will be 2 shots in favour of Brian as he birdies the first fantastic birdie to take a 1-up lead in this match. I am using a stand for the very first time, so we'll have a look from the side on the pitches from the second hole. The shots for Brian, if I'm not mistaken, will arrive on the 11th and 15th hole respectively. Course is in immaculate condition, fairways and greens cut this evening in preparation for tonight's final, and we wish both players the very, very best of luck. The second hole. Looks a bit short. That is just positioned just in behind that mound there, so he'll have an uphill chip. Won't be the most difficult chip. He can be aggressive with it, but not the ideal placement, particularly after a fantastic pitch and a tap-in birdie on the first. As mentioned, I will be using a stand here for the first time, so I won't be typing any updates into the chat. Hopefully verbal confirmation will be enough. So Kieran Bermingham pitches into the second here and should spin. Okay, so she's just hanging up the top side. We'll stay here as I'm kind of somewhat dry, and we'll look at both second shots for both players here. Other games on this evening, we have the climax of our inter-club 4-man team event coming to an end, expected next week. 2 more group games potentially happening. One ongoing at the moment sees Team 2, captained by Brian Andrews, up against Team 4, which would be captained by PJ Ryan. A draw or a loss for PJs would open the door for Joe Roach or Mike Darcy's Team 1 and 6 to seize an opportunity to book themselves a place in the final. But if PJ's team are successful, they will play the lads from Clare in the final of the interclub, new interclub now might I add, championships. And that also has been a very, very successful competition, and we do thank everyone who supported it and got involved in the runnings. So an unfortunate. Alright Scott, how's the form? So Kieran Bermingham for birdie, down the hill, right to left. He's played it out far enough, but he's gone a wee bit past there. Brian has not got the easiest putt. Let's see if the tilt option on my fancy new little device will work. So Brian's ball, we got a prime eagle eye view here, and we will see a huge break from our right to left as we look at it. And that is a super up and down from Brian Dillon. So Kieran now, who possibly would have thought that he would have been in a more favourable position to bring the match back to all square, is now putting for a half to stay 1 down. And he's tapped that in. Now I'm going to move my way over in behind the third tee box, which is a 55-metre pitch up the hill Hopefully phone, device, everything stays connected and together. So far so good. Yeah, looks alright. Looks alright. So Brian Dillon still holds the tee box and has a 1-up lead on Kieran Bermingham through the first 2 holes. Ball heads and sharing a bit of a laugh and a giggle down at the third. I think Brian brought his putter onto the third tee. That looks a bit shy from Brian. He got the little bounce. One thing about Brian is he puts very little spin on the ball, so with a bit of dew on the greens, it could work either for him or against him this evening. And Kieran is just shorter. It's up to yourselves. If you want to play him, play him. So you make the call before the game starts if you want them. It's up to yourselves, Brian. It's up to yourselves, man. Whatever you want. Inter-club game going on there. Evan McGuan pitched the ball into the bunker and the lads had to decide if they were in play or not. Brian Andrews with a big push to say that the bunkers are in play. The 2 teams going off there are Brian Andrews and Scott Fitzgerald. They're up against Evan McGuan and Brendan O'Connor. And you've PJ Ryan and Eugene McNamara against Brendan Maloney. And Kieran, I'm unsure if that was a flyer or if he was perhaps just a bit too aggressive on that. So his putt back will be from left to right. Can hit it on the lip. So Brian Dillon now with a putt for a win, but Kieran by all means not dead certain in the hole for a birdie, so Brian 2 putt would still win the hole. Has not been conceded, funny enough. Kieran's putt now for a par. A merry-go-round. And Brian Dillon, who is 1 under for the first 3 holes, is 2 up on Kieran Bermingham through the first 3. Again, I am manoeuvring here with a stand, so straining may be slightly different than the good old hand, but there was no WD-40 left in the shop from my rusted elbows, so I'm relying on a stand to hold position for the night. Hopefully it does me some favours. Fourth hole, 47 metres, pin tucked front and right as the players look at it. Brian Dillon now 2 up through 3 on the box. And you need to sit down. A safe ball. There's a sneaky little bunker on the front of the fourth hole. And with the pin tucked to the front, certainly is not a pleasant place to be. Look back there now on Kieran. Try to get the whole view in as well. There's the tee box, there's the target. And Kieran's a safe option in behind the hole as well. And it will be Brian to putt first. Adjust the height here for us beautifully, as a matter of fact. Look at the technology, what? So Brian's ball should move from his right to left, particularly an awful lot of this break will be seen towards the end of the hole, and Kieran's ball will do quite the same. So because we've got a good line here, and hopefully we're not disturbing Brian, we'll try and stay here. That's a good one from Brian, good leg, but it's not conceded. And yes, thankfully, both balls called in 3. And Brian Dillon, through 4 holes, remains 2 up. As we move our way up to the 50-metre 5th hole. So a very long, narrow green. Pin tucked on the front left-hand side as the players look at it, or even middle of the green there. As the players look at it, we'll try bring up our device here again so we're a bit taller. And Brian has the box. Spin. And a nice ball there from Brian into about 10 feet there. Good pitch. Interviews of both players took place yesterday. Both players are taking part in their first club Matchplay final, would you believe? So a good opportunity to put their name on the Ger Costello trophy for the first time. Kieran's ball looks very good. Unfortunate with the skid, but we'll get a great line. Both birdie putts. Kieran's ball should move that bit more from the right to left, and Kieran will be out. So I'll just reposition this a small bit closer so we can give you all a good view of what we're looking at. And I can happily walk away from the camera without having to worry about the elbows. And this will be a prime angle to see the break in the putt. Good roll from Kieran. Never left the middle of the hole. So Brian out with a birdie putt for a half. And he's got it again. So two majestic birdies on the 5th hole. Leaves the game at Brian Dillon 2 up. 6th hole pin has been slightly changed. It is now at the very front edge of the green. So quite a common place to land, particularly when the flag is over on that kind of middle portion, back left. I know myself, I find when the pin is on the left, I'd always be on the right, and when it's on the right, over on the left. So let's see what the lads do from here. We'll try zoom in here to get a look at Brian. I'll move it up there a touch. Looks sounding long. And you can see by the way I'm turning the camera, he has carried quite a bit. So an open door here for Kieran. His first birdie of the club match play came on the 5th of the club match play final. So let's see if he can add to it here. And depending on the skid, that could be good. And that is a bit short. Now, luckily about Kieran's shot where he is at the moment is there isn't too much slope back into him, unlike if you're over the far side of this kind of portion of the green here. The slope tends to be that bit more elevated, so he can chip a fairly flat ball back into that 6th hole. So we'll just have a look here. We'll move back and see what Brian does with his second shot. And I'll use the green as my stepping stone. So decent bit of carry here for Brian, but as mentioned in our pre-match interviews, Brian seems to be a man that can get up and down from anywhere at all. Incredibly consistent and makes very little mistakes. So hopefully I haven't put the markers on him. I have, in some capacity. So an up and down will give Kieran a good opportunity to win his first hole of this match play final. And that's a decent chip. He's got it. Very, very unlucky. A good effort again from Brian. His first drop shot in this match play final, and the game is back to 1 in favour of Brian Dillon. Our 7th hole is a 32-metre pitch, potentially slightly longer, with the pin at the back of the green here. Just slight two-tier, slight drop off in the towards the back edge of this green. Particularly when the flag is here, it's one of the more gettable holes. Very, very few holes in Ardnacrusha that you approach as a potential birdie. If you're not pitching in the course, you might as well not come in the front gate, as many locals and Limerick and Clare players will tell you. So we'll see how Kieran Bermingham approaches this 7th pitch. And it's a putt. However, it is a long, long putt. There'll be a bit of right to left, left to right, and uphill and downhill. So it'll be a bit of everything. See how Brian responds. Aim here is to be down the edge, and I think Brian has done that. Yeah, that's a cracking pitch. And that is a beauty from Brian Dillon. Great pitch. I'm trying to generate a bit of atmosphere as the sole onlooker here with the camera. We do have three onlookers over behind the tent. Pitch, Brian. So it was on the flat, Brian, I'd say about 6-7 feet in front of where Kieran's is, and maybe just slightly left of the hole where you were. I haven't a clue myself personally, but it's like the blind leading the blind here, but we'll direct in any means necessary. My apologies, I haven't got into ideal position here for Kieran's putt, but we'll get a good view of hopefully the break. So Kieran to stay 1 down. She should start to turn the other way. No, too far. So, and you heard Kieran mention we've got a 2-up lead once again for Brian Dillon. Now, unfortunately, with the front patch of our you saying this game? Oh, Brian Dillon's 2-up. So the 8th hole, the lads are pitching from inside in the tropical rainforest, if you can use such terminology in Ireland. And this is one of the most difficult pitches on the course, and you're into kind of a 2-tier grid. Pin is really tucked at the front. You have to be either short or just slightly left of this hole. Brian needs a bit of a skid. He's got it, and although he's off the green, you'd much rather be positioned down the left hand side where compared to up the top of the green, because you're taking that slope completely out of it. And again, guys, anyone that's new to the channel, we are trying to generate as much publicity, marketing, not alone for the club, but just for the game of pitch and putt, to increase memberships, get more visibility. As we look at Kieran's ball, it depends on the kick. Yeah, it could be right good, and that's a cracker. Yeah, and that's the exact position, prime location where you want to be, and I'm sure he's probably in Brian's line, might get him to mark it, so I'll stand front and centre behind these guys. So yeah, as mentioned, we really would appreciate as much support, sharing of the channel, subscriptions, likes, just to really get this up and going and off its feet. Particularly around the summertime, we'll be doing more marketing, more video promotions, and before we kind of close up shop there for the winter time. You go around it, Brian. Oh, great effort. So as you saw from Brian's ball, there is a bit of a swing on this from right to left. We'll see if Kieran has taken note. And that's another birdie for Kieran Bermingham to bring the game back to 1 up. Shots on 11 and 15 and right somewhere. Lovely, perfect. Apologies there for the profanity. Brian and Scott are 1 up, perfect. Hi Brendan, boy. So, as mentioned, in addition to the current ongoing club matchplay final, we also have the last round of games happening in our 4-man interclub team event. And unfortunately for Team 2, they are playing this evening with 3 men, and Brendan Maloney is Lone Ranger on his own, and he is 1 up against PJ Ryan and Eugene. I'll give you a wide scope view of Kieran Bermingham, who birdied the 8th hole to move back to a 1 down margin. So a good strike from Kieran just in behind the hole, but direction was slightly off. One thing about this 9th hole, for those who are unfamiliar, is if you are not straight, you are in serious trouble because you won't hold the green. There's a 36 metre pitch with a small little mound in the front. And Brian Dillon's ball looks really good. And that was a cracking ball from Brian. Cracking ball. So it will be Kieran to pitch first. I will position my camera here to see his chip should move from left to right. Doesn't appear to be sitting great. Seems to be slightly nestled down in the first cut. Left at about 3.5, 4 foot short, and I'd say it's probably Kieran again, I'd say. But as mentioned before the game, you wouldn't meet too many faster players than Brian Dillon. Just wants to get on with it. Oh. And a loop-de-loop for Brian. An unfortunate one. So Kieran for par, and to have the hole. May have to play this just on the right edge as we look at it, so left to right for him. And he's missed it on the low side. So you could really see for a shorter putt, massive break in this one. I'm going to change things up here on the 10th. I'm going to go in behind both players here. if they don't mind, and drop the camera. And we'll get a look at behind the view of the swings. And Brian's ball is just off the left hand side in the kind of first cut. Just shy of pin high. And Kieran Bermingham has pitched a cracker. Again, Specsavers may give me a new prescription, but looks to be about 4 or 5 feet there from the hole, right in the middle of the green, and we follow both players up. And this is the coverage, the ongoing games here in the Interclub. Evan McGowan and Brendan O'Connor against Brian Andrews and Scott Fitzgerald. As mentioned, the latter two only playing with a team of 3 this evening. And on that 5th hole, we have PJ Ryan and Eugene McNamara up against Brendan Maloney. And a small bit of a gallery arriving out to the course, thankfully. Kieran's ball is actually getting further and further away as I look at it. It was actually recently changed to the very front of this tent. So we'll turn over and have a quick look at Brian's. Fantastic attempt from Brian. And we'll move across there and have a quick look at Kieran's. And that's a good birdie at the 10th. And the game is back to 1 as we move to the short 11th hole, which will see Brian Dillon be offered up his very first shot, 1 of 2. On this sneaky little 22-metre shot that you either love it or you hate it. That's the way I view it. Those who have played the course will know exactly what I'm talking about. So there's the tee box, and it's just elevated tee box onto a green which slopes away from you with a mound at the front and a significant drop off at the back of the green. So let's see how Kieran approaches it. Kieran hit a cracker in the video tutorial that we gave. That's a great ball. And Kieran is into about 3 feet there. Brian Dillon is 1. Brian is 2. So I suppose job done as far as Kieran is concerned. 2.5 feet shouldn't really, you'd fancy him to get that one. Let's see what Brian's response is. It looks very good as well. Check up, and it should hold there. Yeah. So not a gimme by any means for Brian, but an outside chance here at a birdie. So Brian appears to be leaving the flag in on this one in favour of a goalie. And he slammed that in. And that's a win. Actually, I'll stay where I am because... Do you want to be on the camera? Preferably not.
Probably not.
Who are you here cheering on?
Brian.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, geez, very nice. Oh, fantastic. You might take up membership after watching this. Who knows?
Oh. But we're very, very mediocre.
Don't be welcome on you. Don't worry about that. Brian did catch a bit of mat there on that one. And as a result, left his pullable shot. Struck me in the foot, right? Apologies. So, Brian's ball just positioned about 5-6 feet short of this 49 metre 12th hole. And Kieran is also short. So didn't really take advantage of an open door provided by Brian. Oh, I'll try to get down ahead of the lads if I can. Anyone who has access to social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, lads, if you could give the page a like, subscribe and a potential share, we would greatly appreciate it. Kieran actually did make it to the green, but as mentioned, Brian is very, very short. Just slightly slacking in fuel. He's a good couple of feet short, is Brian there. So Kieran for birdie. Good line. Didn't hit it though, I don't think. And there there was a small bit of a worker there. Yeah, very easy. Fantastic par from Brian there. So it's a great half for Brian as we move on to the hole. strike. Spin. And that is a beauty. Fantastic pitch from Brian. Not a concession, but a great look. A good strike from Kieran. And a good response. Four players on the front of this green. No more than 5 feet, I would say. Whether that's 5 big feet or 5 little feet, I'm not sure. Brian does appear from distance to be closer of the two, but we'll find this out when we arrive to the green. I could be actually wrong, it may be Kieran. It is. Brian is just slightly up that slope there. So, Kieran's ball has been conceded for a birdie 2. Brian with a slightly right to left as he looks at it, off the side of the hill for a half. It didn't move much, strangely enough, but one thing that is certain is that that's 2 birdies and a half. Kieran advising Brian that he reckons he's about 5 or 6 under. Hopefully they don't have a conversation here now for the next 10 or 15 minutes about what score if it is. There's still plenty of holes left to play in it. Debate settled. Score still unknown. Although, hold on, no, there's more to come. So, 14th, one of the trickiest pitches on the course here in Ardnacrusha. 39-metre pitch up a hill onto a flat. That's it. And it's a cracking ball from Brian on the surface. You would take a putt here any day of the week. And you can see the penalty have been short. Kieran has opened the door there for Brian. Brian has been playing incredibly consistent here. I know he had 1 drop shot so far, but he's coupled that with plenty of birdies. And with the 2 shot he's getting, you can see that how he's holding his 2-up lead still at this stage. Early days yet, but he's doing a good job to keep Kieran at bay. His pitch has found the green and he's into about 8 feet. And that is 3 up now for Brian Dillon. And this is the 15th hole we're moving on to. I get down the steps before the players as we look at some beautiful scenery. Thanks to our wonderful ground staff and Mother Nature. As you can see, that tree which fell. I pick up the pace. I'm getting slow at my old age. So, 15th hole. Brian Dillon 3 up now. And we'll have a shot here at the 44 metre 15th. Bit of an odd pitch there from Brian. Pulled that a lot way to the left there. So he's under pressure even to make use of his shot from where he is. An opportunity for Kieran, which you'll probably be surprised about. Yeah, there is a small bit of a breeze there. You could see it move Kieran's ball, but still, nonetheless, Kieran in more favourable position. So, roads to the final. I suppose since Brian is leading this game, we'll speak about Brian. Brian overcame potential favourite for the competition on day one, Evan McGuan, by a 4-3 margin. Brian gave a couple of shots in that game. And that is an incredible shot from Brian. An absolutely super shot. So, second round, Brian defeated, which was a quarter-final game, he defeated PJ Ryan. A game which he described in his interview yesterday as a game that got him to the final. Toughest game so far, he described it, where he came back from, I believe, 5 down. He said he just put on the afterburners in the second round. Oh, Kieran very unlucky. So, down here close. Yeah, so as mentioned, Brian overcame Evan McGuan in round 1. Came up against, I suppose, had an inspired display against PJ Ryan, coming from, I believe, 4 or 5 down. He kind of went on a bit of a streak there on the back 9 and eventually defeated PJ 4-3. He took out Ralph Fitzgerald in a quarter-final and polished off club captain Brian Andrews in the semi-final to book his place in this final. And in fairness to him, he's displaying qualities worthy of his final place as he moves 4 up now on Kieran Bermingham. With a fantastic display of pitch and putt so far in this club matchplay final. Kieran, on the other hand, used his shots very, very well against Mike Darcy in round 1 to beat Mike by a 5-4 margin. He took on, who did he take on in round 2? He took on Eugene McNamara. Brian's ball is coming in here lovely, and that might spin back. Ah, yeah, lovely. lovely shot. He took on Eugene McNamara, I suppose, which would be a very, very close friend to Kieran in round 2, and prevailed, I believe, by a 6-5 margin. He then beat Pacelli Darcy in absolutely horrific weather, wind, rain, and I'd say 2 or 3 changes of clothes were required after the lads came off the course. And that looks like a great ball from Kieran also. Yeah, good pitch. 2 great pitches to the 16th, which is a 55-metre pitch, narrow green, coming back down from the... You can just see the players leaving the tee box there. So I'll stand behind Kieran because both balls do appear to be on a good line, and pick up where I left off. As mentioned, Kieran overcame Mike. He overcame Eugene Pacelli Darcy in the rain, and in his semi-final game defeated Ger by a 4-3 margin also. So certainly Kieran's route to the final has been primarily he's been getting shots from the lower handicap players, whereas Brian has been, I suppose, been on the receiving end of some shot, or on the giving end of some shots. So a slight turn of events for Kieran in this game, where he's giving 2 shots to Brian, 2 shots of which Brian has used to his advantage, and thus finds him with a 4-up advantage with 3 holes to go here in this first round. And Kieran's putt will be first. So I think Brian now for birdie to move 5 up now. Very, very unfortunate there from Brian. A lip out. So we move over to the 17th. Pin is in the middle of the green, just over on the left hand side. Elevated tee off box, 55-metre pitch. Green is sloping back towards the players. And once again, I'm struggling to source a reasonable spot. But I think I've sourced one. No, I tell a lie, I haven't. Put the foot in it, keep her stabilised. So yes, those unfamiliar with the course, the players will be positioned at the tee box above, and your 17 green it's a fairly big target. Green will slope back to front towards the players, and again, as you can probably tell by the camera angle, will be left to right as we look at it. Will favour Brian, doesn't tend to spin a ball an awful lot. But another discussion he's doing. I don't know what's going on. I hope it doesn't get dark anyway for my sake, because we'll get the cars in on the course. It's a finger pointing and everything going on up there. Short, but he's a good bit away from the flag. Everything will be back up the hill. he shouldn't really be in danger for a 4 from where he is. He can be aggressive back up the hill as the dew starts to gather on the greens here. But if anything, a slight door opener here for Kieran. One to which you feel at this stage, even though we are yet to make the turn, you feel that you have to start taking, and that looks really good into the middle of the green. Yeah. So, good pitch from Kieran. An opportunity of a birdie. Oh, Sam. Did you go to the bookies, did you? To lump on money on Brian, did you? I'm glad I've got it on YouTube, because it's like, you often see finals that might start nervous. Like, the lads have got a rake of birdies. Like, nice to be able to look back at it and all that kind of carry on as well. You know, why couldn't it have been me? You know, all that carry on. So Brian will be out, and he is leaving the pin in. This particular putt will be, he can nearly hit this forward straight. If anything, it may move from right to left. It was firm, but it was far from straight. So Brian, a small bit of pressure. And you could really see a puff of the cheeks there, and after Brian's putt, he knew how much that meant, and that's a fantastic tree, considering he put himself under a bit of pressure. To the co-commentator or anything, Tom, do you? Be like Anchorman here soon enough. Over to Tom in the weather.
Yeah, I'll do the weather.
Yeah. Raining cats and dogs, says she. So, yeah, competition wise, don't think so. You've Mellows, you've Bruff, Mellows and Lakeside this coming weekend, don't you? You've Lakeside Saturday, Bruff Sunday, and Mellows on the Monday. Not locally. The finals of the Interclub will be next week, alright. You're that 4-man team event. Yeah, it's above Galway there, so. I played in Gales before. It's great fun. You kind of nearly want to kind of a 5-iron with you, like, you know. So for those of you who are new to the channel, what we will do is, after the first 18 holes, we tend to take a break, and we will live stream once again round 2 action. We are currently on the 18th hole. Brian Dillon holds a 4-up lead and is playing some really, really great pitch and putt. Very few mistakes from Brian. And that looks like a cracking ball. If it sits down, it's very good. Oh, an absolute peach. You'd have to come out more often for him, lads. I've never seen him play this well at all. Yeah. pressure on Kieran. Great strike. Is it deep? It is deep, and that's trouble. And that is a lot of trouble.
Ja, bitte man das natürlich.
So Kieran now is
Back
faced
edge.
with
Yeah.
Kieran is now faced with a chip that he will have to beat the bank. Put a small bit of check in it, so he'd be aiming to try to get this into the first cut on the fringe. And just see a small bit of a release. The chip is all uphill, but